Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something powerful. Where could your life be 1 year from now if you stopped making excuses and started making progress? Transformation doesn't require magic. It demands clarity, commitment, and consistency. A 1-year success plan is not about waiting for the right time. It's about making this the right time. Every successful journey begins with a choice to no longer live by default, but by design. Start with a crystal clear vision, not a wish, a plan. Who do you want to become? What do you want to achieve? Write it down. Break it into 12 months. Then break each month into weekly goals, each week into daily habits. You don't need 1,000 ideas. You need one plan and relentless action. And let me be honest with you, the road will not be easy. You will face setbacks. You'll question your ability. People may doubt you. But remember, failure is not your enemy. Fear of failure is. Every mistake teaches. Every stumble is a step. Don't run from it. Learn. Just grow. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck. Discipline. Not just working when you feel like it, but showing up daily because your future deserves that effort. This year, yes, this very year, can be the chapter where everything changes. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. Because you stopped waiting and started building. You don't need perfect conditions. You need a decision. So decide today, right now. Set your 1-year plan. Chase it with fire. Work like your future depends on it, because it does. The next 365 days could redefine your life, but only if you stop dreaming and start doing. Let's begin. Clarity creates power. And if you're not clear about where you're going, no amount of effort will take you anywhere meaningful. The biggest reason people fail isn't because they're lazy or untalented. It's because they don't know exactly what they want. They wake up each day responding to life instead of designing it. They drift instead of drive. And drifting, no matter how hard you row, leads nowhere. Think about this. If you give a skilled archer a bow with no target, their talent is useless. They can shoot all day long, but they'll hit nothing that matters. Life is no different. Without clarity, your effort has no direction, and energy without direction is just noise. Clarity means having a vision so sharp that it cuts through doubt, distraction, and fear. It's waking up and knowing exactly why you're getting out of bed. It's looking at the year ahead and seeing the exact mountain you're going to climb. It doesn't mean knowing every detail or step, but it does mean knowing where the path should lead. When you're clear, decisions become easier. You no longer ask, should I do this? You ask, does this move me closer to my goal? That one shift changes everything. You stop wasting time. You stop saying yes to things that don't serve your purpose. You stop comparing yourself to others because you're no longer in their race. You're focused on your lane, your finish line, your mission. But clarity doesn't come from overthinking. It comes from action. You don't sit in a room and wait for purpose to knock. You ask questions. You try things. You observe what energizes you and what drains you. You stop chasing what looks good and start following what feels right. You build clarity by moving, by exploring, by taking imperfect steps. And every action reveals more about who you are and what you want. So how do you get clear? Start by asking the hard questions. Who do I want to become? What does success look like for me? Not for my parents, not for society, not for my friends, but for me. What would make me proud 1 year from now? What kind of life do I want to wake up to? Write it down. Be specific. Vague dreams create vague results. Don't say, I want to be successful. Say, I want to build a business that earns this much by this date. Don't say, I want to be healthier. Say, I want to run 5 kilometers without stopping, drop 15 pounds, and sleep 8 hours a night. The clearer your target, the more powerful your action. Clarity also gives you stamina. When you know your why, you can endure almost any how. Setbacks don't break you, they build you. Obstacles don't confuse you, they refine your focus. Because you know what you're chasing, you're not reacting to life, you're responding from a place of purpose. Too many people think clarity is a luxury. It's not. It's a necessity. You can't afford to move blindly through life, hoping it all works out. You need to sit with yourself, reflect, be honest. Strip away the noise, disconnect from what others expect. Connect with what truly matters to you. Clarity is also not something you find once and forget. It evolves. As you grow, your vision sharpens. That's okay. But without taking the first step, you'll never see the next. So get clear now. Define your 1 year plan. Define your values. Define what winning looks like in your life. Then revisit it monthly. I'll just refocus. Keep your vision in front of you so your actions stay aligned. In a world filled with distractions, the person who has clarity holds the power. While others chase trends, you stay rooted in purpose. While others burn out doing too much of the wrong thing, you accelerate by doing less, but doing it with precision. Discipline over motivation. That's the difference between those who achieve something meaningful and those who keep starting over. Motivation is exciting. It makes you feel good. It pumps you up. But motivation is like a spark. It burns hot and fast, and then it's gone. Discipline is the fire that stays lit, even when the wind is strong and the night is cold. People make the mistake of waiting to feel ready. They wait to be inspired, to be in the mood, to get that push. But the truth is, the mood won't always be there. Some days you'll wake up tired. Some days you'll doubt yourself. Some days life will hit you hard, and in those moments, motivation won't save you. Discipline will. Discipline is doing what you said you would do long after the mood you set it in has left you. It's getting up at 5 a.m. to work out even when the bed is warm. It's opening the laptop to build your dream even when you're mentally drained. It's saying no to distractions, no to comfort, no to excuses, because you made a promise to yourself. And self-respect means keeping that promise. Success doesn't come from feeling good every day. It comes from doing what matters every day. And the truth is, the people who win in life aren't the ones who are always motivated. They're the ones who are consistent. They build systems, habits, routines that work whether they feel like it or not. Discipline is a skill, not a talent. And like any skill, it can be trained. Start small. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Make one commitment. Show up for it every day for 1 week, then 2, then a month. Build trust with yourself. Every time you follow through, you grow stronger. Every time you let yourself off the hook, you weaken your mindset. Don't rely on emotions to run your life. Run your life by decision. Decide who you want to be. Decide what you're going to do every day. Then do it. Feelings are temporary. Identity is long-term. Act in alignment with the person you want to become, not the emotion you're in right now. Look around. Every great athlete, every top performer, every successful entrepreneur, they didn't get there by riding a wave of motivation. They built rituals. They mastered the boring. They repeated the basics. While others looked for hacks, they stuck with the hard stuff. While others waited to feel inspired, they worked. And discipline doesn't mean perfection. It means persistence. You will slip. You will miss a day. But the disciplined mind doesn't let one bad moment become a bad week. It resets. It refocuses. It keeps moving. People say discipline is hard. But so is regret. So is failure. So is not living up to your potential. So ask yourself, which heart are you willing to live with? The pain of discipline is short-term. The pain of quitting lasts. Motivation is noisy. Discipline is quiet. It doesn't shout, it shows. In the results, in the growth, in the quiet wins that compound over time. Discipline is what builds the life you dream about when no one's watching. When the world is asleep, when it's just you and the grind. When others are waiting for the perfect moment, the disciplined are creating it. When others need to be pushed, the disciplined are pulling themselves, and that's what separates the average from the excellent. Not the goals, not the dreams. The daily decisions. You won't always feel motivated, but you can always choose to be disciplined. And the more you choose it, the more powerful you become. Because discipline is freedom. Discipline gives you control. Discipline shapes your future. Discipline is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. Embrace failure as feedback. Most people are afraid of failure because they see it as a judgment. They think failing means they're not good enough, not smart enough, not capable enough. But that mindset is what keeps people stuck. It traps them in hesitation, doubt, and fear. The truth is, failure is not the enemy. It's the teacher. It's the signal. It's the feedback loop that tells you what doesn't work so you can get closer to what does. If you want to grow, if you want to build something meaningful, failure is not optional, it's essential. You can't learn to walk without falling. You can't build strength without struggle. You can't become great without being bad first. Everyone sees the success stories, the headlines, the trophies. What they don't see are the rejections, the losses, the late nights of frustration, the plans that fell apart. But that's where the real transformation happens. Failure gives you data. When you try something and it doesn't work, that result isn't useless. It's information. It's clarity. It shows you what needs to be fixed, what needs to be adjusted. If you ignore failure or avoid it, you also avoid the chance to improve. If you take it personally, you miss the message it's trying to deliver. Every time you fall short, you're getting feedback. Maybe your approach was wrong. Maybe your timing was off. Maybe your preparation wasn't enough. Maybe your mindset needs to evolve. But none of that means you are a failure. It just means the process is working. You're learning. You're stretching. You're leveling up. Failure exposes your blind spots. It brings out your real weaknesses. Not to shame you, but to sharpen you. It shows you where you need to grow. Most people want to avoid discomfort, but comfort doesn't create champions. Discomfort is the birthplace of all transformation, and failure is the most honest form of discomfort there is. The difference between people who succeed and people who quit is how they interpret failure. The unsuccessful let it define them. The successful let it refine them. One gets discouraged, the other gets determined. One says, "I'm not meant for this." The other says, "I just haven't figured it out yet." When you embrace failure, you become fearless. You're no longer held hostage by the thought, "What if it doesn't work?" Because now you understand, even if it doesn't work, you'll learn, you'll adjust, you'll come back smarter, stronger, more focused. That mindset makes you unstoppable. And this applies to every area of life. In business, the best strategies are born from failed experiments. In relationships, the strongest connections are often built after miscommunication and recovery. In health, the best routines come from trial and error. Failure is how you find your limits and push beyond them. It's how you separate theory from experience. Success is not a straight line. It's a cycle of action, failure, reflection, and correction. The faster you move through that cycle, the faster you grow. But if you get stuck in the shame of failing, you freeze. You overthink. You play safe. And playing safe never changes anything. Failure also humbles you. It reminds you that you don't know everything, that you still have more to learn, and that humility is a gift because it keeps you curious, it keeps you open, it keeps you improving. No ego, just progress. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. You're not challenging yourself. You're not taking bold enough steps. Playing small may feel safe, but it leads to regret. On the other hand, trying, failing, learning, and evolving, that leads to growth. That leads to strength. That leads to mastery. You can fail 100 times and still win if you use each failure the right way. But you can succeed once and lose everything if your ego stops you from learning. So treat failure like a mirror. Let it reflect, not reject. Let it guide, not define. Let it build you, not break you. Small wins lead to big changes. It's easy to believe that transformation comes from one big moment, one breakthrough, one massive success. But that's not how real growth works. Big change is the result of small, consistent actions repeated over time. The world rewards the outcome, but the process is built on the quiet victories no one sees. A small win may seem insignificant today, but stacked daily, it becomes unstoppable momentum. People often get overwhelmed because they set huge goals and expect overnight results. They look at the top of the mountain and forget that every summit is reached step by step. When they don't see instant progress, they get discouraged, they quit, they start over. The solution isn't to lower the goal, it's to break it down into pieces you can win each day. A big goal is not achieved in one leap, it's achieved by stacking small wins. Small wins build confidence. They show you that change is possible. When you complete a workout, read a chapter, make that one call, or wake up at the time you committed to, you send a message to your brain, "I can do this." Every small win is a vote for the person you want to become. And with each vote, you build a new identity. You stop saying, "I wish," and start saying, "I am." You don't need motivation to accomplish small wins. You need structure, systems, discipline. You can train your mind to look for one small win each day. Because when you focus on winning the day, the week takes care of itself. When you win the week, the month starts to shift. And when you win enough months, your entire year transforms. Small wins are powerful because they're achievable. You don't need talent, money, or connections to start. You need commitment. 10 push-ups a day, 1 healthy meal, 1 page of a journal, 5 minutes of silence, sending 1 email, saying no to 1 distraction. These actions may seem tiny in the moment, but their impact is massive when repeated with purpose. And there's something else. Small wins reduce resistance. When you set a goal too big or too far, your brain resists it. It feels unrealistic, so you delay. You procrastinate. You wait for the perfect moment. But small wins eliminate that resistance. They lower the barrier. They remove the excuse. It's easier to start. And once you start, momentum builds. Action leads to more action. Small wins also help you track progress. You begin to see a pattern. You realize that growth isn't invisible. It leaves a trail. You don't have to wonder if you're getting better. You can see it. You feel stronger. You think clearer. You work faster. You recover quicker. These are not just habits. They're signs that the foundation is forming. In business, small wins come from solving one customer problem, improving one system, or testing one new idea. In relationships, it's one honest conversation, one apology, one act of kindness. In health, it's one better meal, one extra hour of sleep, one more glass of water. Small wins are everywhere, and when you start paying attention to them, you become unstoppable. Don't underestimate the compound effect of these actions. 1% improvement each day doesn't sound like much until you do it for 365 days. That's how habits turn into routines, routines turn into results, and results reshape your life. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to be a little better every day, no matter what. What separates those who succeed isn't just vision. It's their ability to stay consistent with the small things that matter. They don't skip steps. They don't look for shortcuts. They fall in love with the process. They trust that every small win is a seed, and eventually that seed will grow into something bigger than they imagined. They aren't chasing giant leaps. They're focused on what they can control today, right now, in this moment, and they make that moment count. Surround yourself with growth. The people around you will either push you forward or pull you back. You can have the greatest ambition, the most detailed plan, and the strongest willpower. But if your environment is filled with negativity, distractions, and small thinking, it will slowly drain your drive. Growth is not just about what you do, it's about where you live, who you listen to, and what you allow around you. Take a moment and evaluate your circle. Who challenges you to think bigger? Who holds you accountable? Who celebrates your progress? Not just your success, but your effort, your consistency, your grind. Now ask the harder question. Who drains you? Who doubts your vision every time you speak it? Who pulls you into gossip, laziness, or comfort? The truth is, energy is contagious. If you surround yourself with people who are growing, you'll rise. If you surround yourself with people standing still, you'll sink. Growth thrives in the presence of challenge. You don't need comfort, you need pressure. You need to be in rooms where you're not the smartest, where your current level is not enough, where you're pushed to elevate, not encouraged to settle. A strong environment doesn't let you coast. It calls you out when you slack and pulls you up when you fall. The fastest way to change your life is to change your environment. You don't even have to cut people off with anger or drama. You simply create space. You adjust your proximity. Not everyone deserves front row access to your life. Some people need to be in the balcony. Some conversations need to happen less. Some friendships were only meant for a season, not a lifetime. People think success is only about hard work, but it's also about exposure. What are you being exposed to every day? Are you listening to people who have done what you're trying to do? Are you learning from those who are ahead of you, or are you surrounded by those who don't even believe it's possible? Your vision will shrink or expand based on who you're around. If you're surrounded by growth-minded people, their belief becomes fuel. Their results become inspiration. Their discipline becomes your new normal. Look at your habits. Many of them were shaped by the people around you. You start eating like them, thinking like them, speaking like them. If your circle is focused on progress, that influence lifts you. If your circle is always making excuses, always blaming, always quitting, eventually that energy rubs off. It becomes part of your mindset without you even realizing it. Growth doesn't always come from people who agree with you. Sometimes the most powerful person in your circle is the one who tells you the truth. Not to hurt you, but to wake you up. Growth doesn't mean surrounding yourself with praise. It means surrounding yourself with standards. People who don't let you settle for less than what you're capable of. And sometimes the people you need aren't in your life yet. That's okay. Go find them. Books, podcasts, mentors, online communities. There are voices out there that will challenge you to rise. You don't need to be physically near someone to be influenced by them. Exposure is everywhere if you look for it intentionally. Your future is directly linked to your environment. Surround yourself with people who talk about ideas, not just people. People who plan, not just complain. People who make moves, not just excuses. Be with those who stretch you, who spark you, who remind you of who you can become. Your surroundings should reflect where you're going, not just where you've been. Build a circle that forces you to grow. That raises the bar. That mirrors the mindset you want, not the one you're trying to escape. Because growth is not just what you do. It's who you choose to do it around. In conclusion, transforming your life in 1 year is not a fantasy. It's a decision backed by clarity, discipline, and daily commitment. It begins with knowing exactly what you want and creating a plan that breaks your big dream into small, achievable steps. Clarity gives you direction. Discipline ensures you show up even when you don't feel like it. Failure, rather than being feared, must be embraced as feedback because every setback is preparing you for a stronger comeback. Small wins, stacked consistently, build massive momentum. They build confidence, reshape habits, and slowly change your identity into the person capable of achieving long-term success. And perhaps most importantly, your environment matters. Who you surround yourself with can either speed up your growth or slow it down. Energy, mindset, and ambition are contagious. Your life a year from now can look completely different, but only if you commit to focused action starting today. Stop chasing motivation and start building systems. Stop doubting and start doing. 1 year may seem like a long journey, but with the right plan and mindset, it's more than enough time to shift your entire reality. Your future begins the moment you stop waiting and start working.